Okay, we're going to, in this video, show you how to use an FTP client to access our FTP server for the purpose of downloading Casey Kasem, American Top 40 of the 70s. In part 1 of our playlist, we talked about how to use Windows Explorer to get your files, and also how to use Windows Explorer to map network location or add a network location so that you can create a shortcut, go back there. But we also highly recommend the use of an FTP client software program to access our files and our server. It's just a way to consolidate everything. It's a little bit cleaner process. You're not relying on the Windows operating system to do all the work for you. So we're going to again bring up our email. So we have our embedded links at the top, and down here what we've broken it out for you into the server itself and then your username and your password. This is what we would use to set up our FileZilla client. So I've got it open here. We're going to first do the quick connect, which is up here at the top. Our host is ftp.premiere-networks.com. Username for this is FTP video. Again, you would be entering your own username and password, and the password FTP. We can leave the port box blank, but if you need to put a number in there, default, as you see, the program is telling you that the default for FTP is 21, and I can hit quick connect. Over here on the right hand side, this is the root FTP server, so you're going to see a whole bunch of different folders in here. You're going to browse down to Casey Kasem American Top 40 of the 70s, and you're going to double click to open. Let's make this a little bigger. And for the purpose of today's video, we're using the test-fm folder. So I browse down to this folder. So I have a couple options here. If I chose to, let's go to my desktop. Notice here on the left hand side, this is my local site. This is where I'm downloading to. On my right hand side, the remote site. This is where I'm downloading from. So I can create a directory on the left here, and let's just create a directory temp, and let's go in there. So if I wanted to, I could take this test.fm folder, drag and drop it over into my new temporary folder I just created, and the program will automatically start to download everything that's inside that test.fm folder. So let's minimize this and minimize that. Let's open my temp folder. There's test.fm, and there's all my files. It's already done there for me. So that's one way to do it. We're still logged in here. Since this is a local directory, I can delete it. We can go into our test.fm folder. Let's just say we wanted to highlight everything in here. Hold down the control key, and we're going to drag them down to the queue, and then let them go. Now I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to double click right here. It's going to take me up to the higher level, or I could also use this folder structure up here and click on 1-Q sheets. And let's take this Q sheet and also add it to my queue. And let's go one step further. Let's go to 70s. Let's go to optional odd. Let's go down here to optional audio. I'm going to go ahead and grab my B program at the same time. Test.fm. I'm going to highlight everything in here, hold down control, drag it down to the queue. So you see in the queue I have 1.2 gigs or 65 files waiting to be downloaded. The program is not going to initiate this download until I tell it to. I can go to the transfer menu and I can click on process queue, or I can hold down the control and the P key to do the same thing. And you see FileZilla is going to start doing the work for me. So let's minimize while it's downloading. Let's open our temp folder, and we see down here all of our items are being downloaded for us. Now that it's done, see I have my Q sheet, or the one Q sheet, not both, and all of the files that I have in both the primary and the optional audio folders. Now these just look like a whole bunch of file names to me. Along with your email, you're going to receive a PDF that looks just like this. It's going to tell you what the file name is, what segment that corresponds to. You see it's in chronological order for each set for both the A show and the B show down here, and you see that the last 3 files in all of the sets are your promos for that show. It's not for the next week, it's for the show that they're going along with. In case has long been in the can here, so we're not going to be promoting next week's program. We're going to use it for current promo. Alright, so we've got another option here. We're going to go in here and disconnect. Let's go ahead and delete everything that we downloaded. We're going to set up what's called a site, so that the next time I go to FileZilla, I can 2 clicks connect to my FTP, to Premiere's FTP server, and be ready to download. So we're going to File menu, Site Manager. We're going to go to New Site. Let's just title it 70s. You can title it whatever you want. On the right hand side, a host again is ftp.premierenetworks.com. Port can remain. File transfer protocol, encryption is fine. We want logon type as normal. Username and password. I highly recommend that down here in the comments box you make yourself a note that my password is whatever it is in the email that we've sent it to you. For the purposes of my video here, our password is just FTP. I'm going to go a couple steps further. Advanced tab. The default local directory. This is where you want to save your files if you use the same folder all of the time. So let's go to browse to our desktop and let's use that temp folder, and we're going to select the default remote directory. This would be if you chose to go back to the same folder every week. So if you never used the optional audio, the B, then you could program this site to automatically jump into your A folder every week. If you use both, you could also create a site for the A folder and a site for the B folder. The FileZilla, you can do however many sites you want. For the purpose of today, we're just going to do our primary folder, which is /Casey Kasem American Top 40 70s Test FM, and that's all I need to do. Now I can just hit connect. You see how it's connected to the Premiere-FTP server. It's jumped into Test FM folder and it's showing me everything that's inside that folder. And on the left hand side, it's got me connected to my temporary folder that we built in the first part of our video here. So how do I get back to that information? Well, let's just say next week I'm ready to download the show again. I'm going to open up FileZilla. I can either go to the File menu and go to Site Manager, highlight 70s, and hit Connect. Or if I chose to, there's a drop-down menu right here. That will open Site Manager, or will also click on 70s and automatically connect me to. And that's how you set up FileZilla to go ahead and access our FTP server and download your files.